Hello guys, girls, and non-binary pals. It's me, Orca. So, people on Twitter voted this to be the next story time. My sexuality story is a roller coaster in itself. So, yeah, like that stuff gets confusing quickly. And it's like so complicated to explain, so I'm glad this got picked instead. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This will briefly talk about sex ed, but not in details. Also, there will be some transphobia, but I don't think I'm gonna go that much into detail, so you've been warned. I didn't question my gender identity until I was barely 16. Like, I just turned 16 and then I started questioning it. Look, I used to film stuff as a child, like stuff you associate with girly girls, like cute, glittery, pink stuff. Everyone kept telling me I was a girl and I didn't question it as a child. However, I really liked that stuff until I think I hit 12 or 13, since being a girl was just a hassle. Like, if you know the pains of wearing a dress, you can't sit in certain ways or you're gonna expose stuff. Anyways, so when puberty hit, I didn't like the changes that were going on with me. Like, if you were assigned female at birth, you would know the fun part of, the stuff that goes on with your chest. And it made me sick to feel like my own body is able to have a baby, because, in sex ed, we were told about, the female anatomy and what it can do, and I just felt really grossed out. It made me feel horrible. Like, this horrible, icky feeling. And, I brushed it off as I didn't want to be an adult and I still wanted to be a kid. Just dealing with kid stuff. And in a way, I guess that is true, but it was something else, but I didn't know it at the time. Also, I hated it whenever I was in the locker room, because I felt like I wasn't supposed to be there. Like, something felt horribly off when I was in the lockers. Like, someone was gonna expose me for not being there, which, I guess me telling this story send you a way for me to be say, yeah, I am not a girl. Something like that. But anyways, also I hate when people kept telling me, saying, oh, you're a woman now, or you're becoming a woman now. And, all that stuff. Yeah. However, sadly, I was transphobic at age 12 to, I believe, 14 or 15. Since the media I consumed back then pretty much said, oh, there's only two genders, and if you're not binary, you're lying. Well, specifically YouTube pretty much said, oh, if you identify as not binary, you're lying, and you're actually a female or a male. There's no in-betweens, which is completely wrong. Because being a non-binary doesn't mean not all non-binary people are people who are in between, and not all non-binary people are people who are not in between. Yeah, it's quite confusing to explain, but that's why there's the non-binary umbrella. But anyways, so yeah. Anyways, so I carried this transphobic idea, and you told people online who identify as non-binary that they were delusional and were lying, and I made those horrible I'm gonna be honest, transphobic comments that saying, oh yeah, I identify as an attack helicopter, like, no, that's horrible to say that it is transphobic because you're mocking people who had to struggle to figure out who they were. And yeah, heck, I even talked trash to fight as gender fluid to my family just because, drumroll please, they were gender fluid. And yeah, at 15, I realized, I believe at 15 or 14, or whatever age, like, it was, like, whatever age, I realized it didn't matter how someone identifies, whether it be a girl, boy, non-binary, something else, or, those things, and, like, did it really matter, like, how someone dressed, like, how someone identify as? Also, like, people really give me backlash for, like, being horrible. Like, not in the call-out post, just, like, people responding, being, like, saying, hey, that's not okay, like, that stuff. So, flash forward, at 16, I started questioning my gender identity since someone said my voice sounded androgynous. It made me feel happy, but it made me question myself. So I looked it up about being non-binary and the signs that you are non-binary. Like, you see those videos that's like, oh, how to know if you're non-binary. I don't know. Maybe that's just me looking that up. But, anyways. I changed my Discord, like, tags I had to female, to other, or non-binary, and it made me feel happy. People using they, them for me made me feel happy. Flash forward again, when I stopped being friends with my toxic friend. Like, that's a story time in its own, but anyways, I was still struggling to accept myself as non-binary since at the time I thought I was bisexual. At some point, I stopped trying to deny it. Like, the denial was so much. Like, there were so many signs to say I was non-binary, and, well, it was hard to accept it since I felt because I think my toxic friend inadvertently drilled this into my head about being like saying the only way to be non-binary is to be pan, and like those videos I see on YouTube where they be like saying, oh, where they make it seem like all trans people can only be straight and nothing else. However, if you couldn't tell, I stopped trying to deny it. And I realized that non-binary folks didn't have to only be pansexual. They can also be lesbian, gay, and OMG, bisexual, or other sexualities. So, how about we skip a few months later? I remember my friend asked me what my gender identity was in a voice call while playing Piggy, and I felt so happy when I said I was non-binary. Like, I felt so happy when it came out of my mouth when I told my friend that. And I'm glad he didn't treat me any differently just because I identify as non-binary. And when I say I'm non-binary, like, to, like, people like my therapist, like, they told me how to explain it, and, well, to me, being non-binary means I don't feel like a girl nor a boy. I didn't understand the non-binary umbrella I was on. Okay, first of all, look, you don't need a special label, but for me, I just wanted to understand myself because at that time I thought I was gender fluid since I didn't mind at the time female pronouns like she, her, but it did kind of discomfort me, but that's something else to explain. And another time I thought I was gender fluid was because sometimes I have those weird off days where in my mind I might say, oh yeah, you're a girl, or oh yeah, you're a boy, or yeah, but it's just an off day, and it usually only lasts like a day or 2 or 3. But anyways, however, I seen a video that was made by a Danganronpa creator named Eris Akamatsu, where they explain their gender identity, where they said that they were a gender, and being a gender meaning you don't have a gender, or you're pretty much genderless. And then the realization came to my head, like a light bulb went off in my head, and I realized I am a gender because I mostly I don't identify as a girl or a boy. So I felt fitting to have that label. Also, yeah, it just fit. So some people might ask, like, wait, how come you don't like the she, her pronoun? Well, let me explain. Look, I used to be comfortable, well, only somewhat comfortable, where it kind of brought me some discomfort. I was reluctantly okay with it at first, but however, it kind of triggered my gender dysphoria, and the reason, like, it was because it's like, you associate she, her with, like, females, and at school, I only heard she, her, like, it was a slow burn that just kept going and going, and it felt horrible to hear she, her in a female context and getting called by my dead name. Like, it caused me a lot of stress, and it made me feel like I didn't want to use she, her anymore, and I felt more comfortable with it. He, they, or they, them. Not he, they, he, him. And, well, so I no longer go by that, and also, here's another thing. I know this person wasn't trying to be mean to me, but I don't like it when people say my voice sounds girly or cute. Like, someone said that to me, saying that my voice sounds like a girl, and I'm just gonna say, don't do that. That triggers me, and I'm gonna say this, non-binary people can have feminine voices and still identify as non-binary. And look, I told my friends I don't want to go by she, her pronouns anymore, and I can understand that they mess up at times when they do accidentally call me she, her, but I don't think this is transphobic. Like, if you're doing it by accident and you immediately correct yourself, because like, oops, I mean they, them, then yeah, I can understand. Like, it was a habit. It's like, you've been calling me she, her throughout our friendship, and you don't mean to hurt me. It's just, the unfortunate circumstances that, your friend don't like that. And I can understand also, my brother might accidentally forget I am non-binary, since sadly, I'm not fully out of the closet yet, and like, one of my family members sadly is transphobic. And, like, and if someone saw one of my events, you would know exactly the situation that is going on, and yeah. So with my brother, I don't want him to accidentally expose me as non-binary and, like, accidentally be like, oh yeah, this is Orca, he's pretty good. Oops. Like, something like that. Spelling out. And it's hard because it's like constantly stress, but I know it's for my own safety. And to my brother, if he's watching this, yeah, I guess this has to be pretty. Yeah, I guess this has to be pretty awkward to see this video that your sibling made. Pretty awkward, yeah. Just don't out me out. Okay, however, I want to say this also. Not all non-binary folks are the same. Some only want to use they, them. Some might use she, they. And some might use neo-pronouns. More power to them. Again, only use he, him, or they, them. Since I don't get neo-pronouns, and I already said why I don't like the she, her pronouns. So yeah, that's my non-binary story, or, well, yeah, my story or experience. So I hope y'all had a good Pride Month, or you're having a good Pride Month. I do hope to see y'all in another video. That's all. Bye.